I feel like there's this duality happening right now with Modern Warfare 3, where you see a lot of news outlets covering this game negatively, a lot of more casual YouTubers who are familiar with the franchise but don't really dedicate their whole channels to it, not exactly being big fans of the game either. But on the other hand, the hardcore community, the people who have dedicated YouTube channels, the people who dedicate themselves to the franchise and only play that stuff and only engage with Call of Duty, seem to really enjoy it. I've seen many dedicated Call of Duty channels and outlets out there saying that Modern Warfare 3 might be one of the best Call of Duties ever made. So I figured it was time to get tactical and jump into the Call of Duty scene and see what people are really saying and see why there's this weird duality between people who are reviewing the game and people who are playing the game. If you guys like these type of videos, make sure you tap like and subscribe for more Call of Duty content. Let's get right into it. So let's take a look at what the critics have been saying about Modern Warfare 3. A Metacritic here, which I think is probably one of the best, more well-rounded websites here to show reviews, gave on Xbox a 60, PC 59, PS5 a 56, so not very good. On Steam, we see a whopping 28% people liking the game with a mostly negative review. I feel like a lot of the bashing of Modern Warfare 3 really started with IGN's campaign review of a 4 out of 10. And because when you see IGN giving a 4 out of 10 to Call of Duty, you know they messed up. Even giving the multiplayer side of things a 6 out of 10. This might be the lowest rated Call of Duty I've ever seen. For example, Modern Warzone here, who has a significant following on Twitter, just under 1 million basically, had a poll saying out of the most recent Call of Duties which one is the best one, and Modern Warfare 3 was voted in with 44%, saying this is the best multiplayer that they've experienced in a long time. And just looking at community response, there's tons of tweets and people talking about how they are actually enjoying Modern Warfare 3. And Activision seems to recognize this as well, because they just tweeted out sharing information that Modern Warfare 3 is the most engaged with Call of Duty in a long time, especially the zombies mode that came with Modern Warfare 3. It's the most engaged third mode that they've ever had with the franchise. Even seeing campaign players putting in more time per player in Modern Warfare 3 than the previous 2 installments. And I made a 45-minute long video talking about why I love Modern Warfare 2019's campaign so much and why that was so great. Clearly better than Modern Warfare 3, but according to whatever numbers Activision's looking at, Modern Warfare 3's campaign is the most played version. So why is it that so many people on the fan base are enjoying this game while many people on the critic side and reviewer side of things not so much? I think the devil is in the details, because we definitely know the negatives. Even though I just said that the campaign is the most played one, it definitely is the worst campaign that we've had in the modern Call of Duty era, which I refer to as Modern Warfare 2019 and later. Even though personally I never played Vanguard's campaign, I could just say that that is going to be better, whatever that is, compared to what I played in Modern Warfare 3. Even when it comes to the multiplayer side of things, there are negatives, such as the challenge system requiring you to complete certain amount of challenges to get your key unlocks that you need within the game. I made an entire video talking about this, why you need to prioritize the covert sneakers, because that is a huge advantage when it comes to Call of Duty. Honestly, I feel like the whole armory unlock system is just a way to gate players so they don't unlock everything so quickly, so you're highly engaged players who are going to play no matter what. Honestly, when it comes to Call of Duty, don't just completely level up and stomp on people who just got in. I'm not a fan of having progression dictated by wins and losses, but it could be better, could be worse. And even though I'm enjoying them, I would say that the negative is going to be the rehashed Modern Warfare 2 maps. Rumor has it that a long time ago that when the Modern Warfare 2 campaign remastered was released, there was just the campaign. People were like, where's the multiplayer? And the longest rumor that was going around with it was that Activision was holding on to that multiplayer for the longest time for a rainy day. And well, it certainly rained a lot, especially probably more likely 2020, 2021. So they're like, we were crunched for time. Apparently Modern Warfare 3 was made in 1.5 years. So why not pull that ace out of your sleeve and reuse those Modern Warfare 2 maps as launch maps, so the developers have time to at least make something, which on a critic side of things can look very lazy and something that would be less desirable for a developer to put up a high quality game for $70. But on the other hand though, I'm just gonna say I'm really enjoying these Modern Warfare 2 maps, mainly because of how different the map design is compared to modern Call of Duties, where I feel like modern Call of Duty map design, it's still that 3-lane classic stuff you know and love, but the maps have so many different little angles you can go in and out and get shot from that it's kind of like a Swiss cheese type of map, if you will, where these Modern Warfare 2 maps, these classic Modern Warfare 2 maps, are definitely much more designed with an old school format with, like, yeah, it's still the 3-lane idea going on with it, but there's just less angles for you to worry about. I have to play a little bit more tactically because there are a lot more head glitch areas and things like that. The maps are a lot larger because they had to compensate for safe spawn areas on the maps because the spawn system back then in 2009 wasn't just as refined as it is nowadays. But the positives that come with Modern Warfare 3 are definitely little positive details that make a big difference. When you put them all together, it seems like it's almost like a new experience, honestly. One thing I really enjoyed was the crossover that came out from Modern Warfare 2 with the weapons and cosmetics. I actually bought into my first set of Call of Duty cosmetics when I heard that this was going to be like a crossover thing coming with Modern Warfare 3. I'm like, okay, then my cosmetics and weapons won't be wasted for a whole year. It actually carries over to the next game. I really like that. That's a huge thing for me. For example, when that Diablo 4 Lilith skin came into the game later in Modern Warfare 2's life cycle, I would have never bought that knowing that Modern Warfare 3 was coming right around the corner. But knowing that it crossed over, I was like, okay, I'll splurge on it because I love the Diablo franchise. I love the crossover weapons as well, so I don't have to rank up so many things all over again to just get into the game to play how I want. The increased health is actually a really big important change when it came to Modern Warfare 3. I didn't mind the fast time to kill in Modern Warfare 2. We're talking like milliseconds of a difference, but they definitely do make a difference where you can actually have a chance to move around the map a little bit more, take a little bit of damage where you can actually make that play that you would have never made back in Modern Warfare 2. The gunplay in Modern Warfare 3 is so much better. As a mouse and keyboard player, I really struggled to stay on target when it came to Modern Warfare 2, even though I figured out ways to get around it a little bit. The amount of visual recoil and screen shaking that you had, that is really tough to fight against console players with their aim assist. Though from my experience, it seems like the Modern Warfare 2 weapons that carried over to Modern Warfare 3 are a bit underclassed to the Modern Warfare 3 weapons. I kind of figured this would happen, but when they said there was crossover, I hope they make them a little bit more viable. Like, yeah, you can play with them if you don't really care about like winning or your score or anything like that. But if you're trying to get your kill streaks, you kind of want to play the Modern Warfare 3 weapons. And I think the biggest thing people are going to be talking about when it comes to Modern Warfare 3 being a better Call of Duty is definitely the movement that's within the game. Slide canceling coming back with a little bit less of an exaggerated version than it was back in 2019. Player movement seems a little bit faster. Mantling is a heck of a lot faster, so traversal of maps is a lot faster with Modern Warfare 3. And with the focus on movement that's been within Call of Duty the last few years, like, yeah, I can see why the newer generation of COD people want to see this version of Modern Warfare compared to the other ones. And these little positive changes that were made with Modern Warfare 3 definitely transitions over to a bigger picture of just how the general feel of Modern Warfare 3 is compared to the predecessors. And that's why a lot more of the more engaged people within Call of Duty seem to really like Modern Warfare 3, where the people that are less engaged and a little bit more casual with it are not enjoying it as much. And I think it's also really because reviewers look at games more as just like a checklist of things that you have that you can do within the game and don't really judge how well those things truly are. Follow me when I go into a different franchise real quick, but I'm very familiar with it and I can give you some more details of why this is not an accurate number, but I think this showcases how reviewers review games compared to how players review games. Right here with Halo 4, for example, on Metacritic, it has an 87. This game was very well received. You see a lot of high scorers from your typical reviewers out here as well, showcasing that they favorably really enjoy Halo 4. What did Halo 4 have? Well, had a pretty good campaign, controversial at the time, and also the multiplayer was full with new maps, new weapons, new modes, progression systems, things like that. Everything you would expect to see with a multiplayer Halo game. But why was Halo 4 really considered the turning point within the Halo franchise to be the kind of like the downturning of it? And that was really because your most engaged players, the people who continue to play the multiplayer, did not like the game at all, myself included. Or keeping it within the Call of Duty franchise, we're here on Metacritic, we see Call of Duty Vanguard might be one of the worst Call of Duties received by the community at a 3.6 right here and a 71 rating. So it got a better rating by critics overall. And I think it's probably just because the campaign was more fleshed out. The third mode of the zombies within Vanguard didn't seem so copy and pasted from Warzone, things like that. The multiplayer had its suite of features that you typically expect to see with a Call of Duty game, but the most engaged player base hated this game. And I find it odd that Modern Warfare 3 is getting so much hate on its gameplay where it comes to just being so copy and pasted, low effort in a way. Though I think that Modern Warfare 3, for what they made, is really amazing, for given that they only had 16 months to make this game, which is an absolutely absurdly short amount of time. So the game that we have right now, I think given the context of the very short development cycle, I think the game is actually really well done. You know, Activision had to really crack the whip on the developers to get this game out in time. And that short development time bleeds through every aspect of this game. The campaign, reusing so many parts of Verdansk. These open combat areas are just straight filler a lot of times. And also with the zombie mode within Modern Warfare 3, which I'm actually really enjoying, taking that Warzone map and just adding zombies to it effectively and just kind of mixing up a little bit to make it feel like a zombies mode, but really it's just modern Warzone zombies warfare thing. So on the surface level of things, it looks lazy. It doesn't look as impressive as previous titles. It doesn't have all the cool checkboxes you would expect to see within a Call of Duty game, but I've kind of come to the reality that Call of Duty has basically been copy-pasting, remastering itself since Modern Warfare 2 back in 2009. Every game has its perk system. You have the same typical unlock system of just progressing to unlock your weapons. Every map has 3 lanes with basic spawns, so it's all about the same size, about the same pacing, all about the same time to kill ratios. Yes, some have higher and lower. Some Call of Duties you jump a little bit higher than others, but they're all effectively just recycling the same thing. Like the only Call of Duties I feel like really tried branching out to be some different was the jetpack era, and people were like, no, we want boots on the ground, put us back to what we used to have. So maybe it's just me who has really low expectations of the Call of Duty franchise, where I just want like, you know what, does it play like old Call of Duty games? Then yes, I'll pick it up and play it because I want to play the new maps, I want to play some of the new modes and all that kind of stuff, because I just like the gameplay formula of Call of Duty. Is that just such a sin? So I think Modern Warfare 3 has gained the most hate because of how blatant it is when it comes to the copy and pasting of systems and maps and modes and things like that. But really, Call of Duty has just been doing that since 2009. I don't look to Call of Duty for the most groundbreaking experience, pushing the envelope when it comes to game design and things like that. I just want a game with a quick time to kill that just plays like it did back in, you know, the early 2000s. And Modern Warfare 3 seems to do just that. It's playing on that nostalgia and the old school gameplay of Call of Duty back in the later 2000s, later 2000s, but also updating itself for the modern era of all the cracked out, fueled up movement kids. So is Modern Warfare 3 lazy development? Not at all. I think just for the time that they have, they did the best that they could. Is it reused content that could have easily been like a $40, $30 update to Modern Warfare 2? Absolutely. Is Modern Warfare 3 bringing something brand new to the experience of Call of Duty? Not really. But am I having fun with Modern Warfare 3? Absolutely. Leave a like if you guys want to see some more content like this. Check out this video right here if you want to see some more Call of Duty content from me. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.